Today we are going to see iterations and recursions. In simple strategies for developing algorithm, in that we see iterations and recursion. Iteration is nothing but is a sequence of statement that is executed until a specific condition is true. Is called iterations. For example, we write on a condition. That condition is want to be satisfied. That time only the statement is executed. In this we have a loops called a for loop and while loop. For loop is nothing but a for loop in C is a structure used to repeat a block of code a specific number of times. It is particularly useful when you know how many times you want the loop to run. In syntax, for initializations, conditions, increment. How we use the for conditions means first initialize something for I is equal to 1, like that we initialize. Then I is less than equal to 5, check 1 is less than or equal to 5 or not, we check. After that if it is condition is satisfied, it moves the print functions up. It printed the I value. After that it's move for I plus plus, that increment I is equal to 2, like that 5 is less than or equal to 5 times comes. After its I is moved to 6, the condition is moved to return 0. This is a for loop. And while loop is nothing but it is also like the conditions of for loop, but first it satisfy. In while loop, first we initialize the value. For example, into main. After that we initialize int I is equal to 0, like that we initialize. After that while I is less than 5, we give I is less than 5. That time loop will run while I is less than 5. After that only print the iterations. Then it move for an increment. This is a while loop. And flowchart, first we get a start, then get n, I is equal to 1. If I is equal to 1, we will check if I is less than or equal to n. If it is I is less than or equal to n, then print I. If it is no, means it stop. After that print I, it increment the statement I is equal to I plus 1. Then move for a recursion. Recursion is nothing but it's a function that calls itself is known as a recursion. Recursion is a process by which a function calls itself repeatedly until some specific condition has been satisfied. For example, we give some function step 1, if n is equal to 1, then fact is equal to 1, return fact. Step 2, else fact is equal to n star factorial n minus 1 and return fact. First we call the function start. For example, we take some example of factorial. In that include studio.py, that is the getter files, and gives a factorial int fact. After we open it, a is equal to 5. Then call the factorial fact of bracket semicolon. Then we call the factorial. In this we start. We get a n, then call factorial. Print fact, stop. First factorial, how factorial works means if n is equal to 1 means factorial is equal to 1. Then return fact. If no means fact is equal to n star factorial into n minus 1, then moves to the again it moves and check the conditions. And this is a pseudocode for factorial using recursion. First we take a main functions begin. After that get n. Some pseudocodes have some keywords to write the pseudocode. These are the things occurs in the pseudocode. Algorithm for factorial, first we start and then we get a input like n. N is nothing but is a variable. We behalf of n we put a b, c, anything. Then we call a factorial. After calling the factorial, we print the factor, then stop the factorial number. These are the things we